back. Excellent. Come here, lad. The thing is, I was thinking, you've been ill, you've done all that. I'm not saying anything, try and be positive, but it's going to impact you.
Yeah, it is.
Did you say in another 3 weeks, is it?
Yeah.
What's that one in 3 weeks?
Trafford. I'll do better than that one. First track session since the Knutsford 10k, but not my first speed session. I've done 2 speed sessions since then. I'm on week 2 now. I didn't film anything last week. Could not be bothered. The level of botheredness that you have to be to film these sessions and go through the whole editing process after the week last week was not the one for me. I put the race vlog out last week. I didn't really say much on it about the race, like after the race sort of thing. It's mad how I felt disappointed. I looked absolutely crushed with running the best time I'd ever ran, but that was just more of a reflection of how I actually physically felt. Like I felt awful on that day after the race. Before the race wasn't that bad, but as soon as I started pushing my body to the limits and I was going through the process of running and it started working hard inside during the second 5k, I was working way harder than what I should have been and I was just absolutely cooked. So I felt horrid at the end of the race. I didn't want to hang around. I didn't feel very sociable at all. I just felt like, oh yeah, horrible. But I did a good week last week training. I did 8 1 kilometre reps as my first session, and I did 15 400 metre reps as my second session, and it was just basically just more of the same, back on the horse, back grinding, back training. This is what it's about. You know, it's like you can't just sit there and think, oh, I've just run the fastest 10k time I've ever ran in my life, and now that is it, I'm completed. It's just moving on, because your fitness does not care what you did yesterday, the day before, or the day before that. If you don't keep improving it, it'll vanish. I made a couple of rookie mistakes on the day of this race, and I was not thinking, and it was the same mistakes that I made when I ran the Winslow 10k, but I was in that much better shape on the Winslow 10k as opposed to what my PB was. I didn't really need to factor in the things that I needed to factor in on the Knutsford one. So when I was running on the Winslow one and on the Knutsford one, all I had on my actual watch face was live pace, where if you speed up and slow down it changes instantly, and lap pace and average pace. So that was it. So I kind of just knew what my average pace was and what pace I was running at, and what the whole, you know, the lap pace was for that kilometre. I didn't know the total time. I was like plugging it in days before and like a couple of weeks before, and like to get a 35-minute 10k, I have to be running 3:35 pace. That is the maximum I can run. That'll bring you in at 35:50, right? Which coincidentally on my watch I was 35:52 or 35:47, one of them. I think it was 35:52, but that was 3:35 pace. But the race went over by 400 metres, because you can never trust your GPS on these things. So running that pace, I was running it, and in my head I'm thinking, right, I'm suffering in the second half, and I'm seeing my pace slip. The first 5k was 3:33 pace average, and then I'm seeing my pace slip to 3:34, and then just as I get into like the 9th kilometre, it dips into 3:35, and I'm thinking, right, it's okay, this will still bring me in 35.5 minutes. This is in my head. This will still bring me in at 35.5 minutes. I'm still going to get where I want to be, even though I knew I was on for a massive PB anyway. And it wasn't. I didn't know. Like, if I would have looked at the watch and I would have seen that the time was so close, it was 3 seconds off, I was just thinking, oh, I've got this. And then when I was running toward the finish line, I seen the gun time on the official clock, say like 36:08 or something, and I thought, no. And I give it a little bit of a sprint, but by then it was too late. And then I stopped my watch, saved the workout, and then I seen the actual time on my watch, which was 36:01.67 or something. And I just remember thinking, like, I've just missed it. There's no way I'm going to get gifted that 3 seconds off the chip time, because I started my watch bang on the mat and I ended it bang on the mat. There was no discrepancy, so the chip time was the same as my watch time. It was 36:02. If I would have known the actual time running toward the finish line and I would have seen how tight it was, I would have give it something extra, Like, I'm not just saying that, I would have given it something extra, but in my head, I'm 35, 30, 35, 40. This is what I'm thinking. It's a shame. I was kind of hoping I was going to dip under 34.59 on the day. My coach, Anthony O'Brien, he said, you can't, people just want to pluck a time off Instagram and do it. He says, you can't skip the queue. You have to put in the work. And I think I was getting carried away with my fitness round about near the end of that training block, where I was going to the track and banging out kilometre reps in 320 something and things, and I was thinking I could run 330 pace for 10k, and I was getting carried away with it, and then I started getting a little bit optimistic about what was achievable on the day, and then I had the illness as well, which kind of factored in. I don't think I was in 34.50 shape anyway on the day, but you know, I would have had a fighting chance of getting low 35s possibly if I would have felt a little bit better. So that is just what it is. You know, you can't really get away with that. So when I go to Trafford next week, I'm going to be looking at the 35 minutes is the goal. It's the main goal. To knock over 30 seconds off your PB is massive. You know, I want to knock 31 seconds off it in 9 weeks. All I need is another 3 seconds to get in the 35s. Hopefully a little bit more than that, but I'm not going to complain about it. It did my head in, and it pissed me off a bit how the social media side of things and the whole series that I put out there, like 10 videos on breaking 36 and getting in the 35 minutes, it put a lot of emphasis on the 35-minute 10k instead of the actual PB. So I should have just been happy, over the moon like I was at Wimslow when I crossed the line. I did amazing.
Well, you've got a smile on your face again.
Oh, Pat, 36.33 on my watch. And been like, I've just ran a PB, like I've just broke my 10k PB. Not by a few seconds, by a massive margin, 31 seconds. But instead, I was too bogged down in the fact that I was thinking about this 35-minute goal. And, you know, even people in work, there was a guy in work said commiserations on, like, you know, like, I ran a fucking ran a PB. You know what I mean? Forget the goal of the 35 minutes. I ran the fastest 10k I've ever run, and I spent 5 years almost struggling to get PBs in the 5k, the 10k, and the half marathon. And all of a sudden, I'm blasting them off in the last few months. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm getting disappointed with them, which you have to check yourself when it's that way, because these PBs, they come few and far between. You're not really guaranteed them every time you show up to a race. I know your training and your fitness plays a massive factor in everything, but you have to be grateful for getting a PB. I can't be getting down on myself like that. Like, I actually like that video where I look back on the race and I was just looking absolutely bewildered with the fact that I just ran that time, and I was gutted about it. Yeah, it's just mad, man. So always be happy you get a PB. I have done many hard sessions on this place and gone to the well many times. Your session today is 6 by 800 metres, 75-second recovery, then 4 by 400 metres. 6 of them, 319 to 325 pace, 75-second recovery, 4 400 metre reps, 310 to 319 pace, 1 minute recovery. 5k warm up, 5k cool down. No heart rate strap. Lost my heart rate strap in Knutsford. I'm gutted about that. My Koros heart rate armband, I took it off after the race, and in my bewildered state I don't know where I flipping put it. So all my running this week and last week has been done off no heart rate strap. That was a good track session. My head fell off a little bit on the 800 metre reps like the last 2 reps. I think the first 2 reps was 3:19 pace, bang on pace. The second 2 reps after that was 3:21 pace, which is still not far off where I wanted to be really. The next one was 3:26 pace, which was 1 second off outside of my target pace. My last 800 metre rep was like 3:28 pace. That was my fault though. Just consciously lost. I lost concentration around the track, and before I knew it, I looked at my watch and I couldn't catch it back up. Then the 400s were good. The 400s, I managed to do the 400s in, I think the first one was 3:17 pace, and then it was 3:14 pace, then 3:14 pace, and the last one was like 3:12 pace or something. But the bad thing is, like, I'm getting 3:08, 3:09 pace right up until I get round that bend. And then that last 100 metres kills me. I'm looking at my watch going over the finish line, and I'm thinking, no, I'm losing seconds in that last 100 metres. I think that's a conscious thing with me though, like, I don't know, like, I know I've got a minute recovery, and I'm scared of being too tired and not being able to catch my breath and start the rep in good shape. I don't know. But either way, fitness is building good for the Trafford 10K in a week and a half. Over the past year, I've been on like a weight loss journey. It sounds cringy saying that, but I have been. I've steadily lost weight. Took myself from about almost 100 kilo to 80 kilo in a year. I've always been reluctant to get below kind of like 90 kilo because I've wanted this like flex of being able to say, I can run this time in a 10K at this weight, this time in a 5K at this weight, this time in a marathon at this weight. Everything has to be attached to a weight. It means nothing at the end of the day. I want to maximise the most I can out of myself now while I'm in my 40s, before I get too old and I get in my 50s. I'm never going to be this young, so I want to be, while I'm this young and fresh, I want to get the most out of myself. The main thing is focused on my weight as well as my training. I've been asked and emailed loads of times about, can you do a video on this, can you do a video on that, and people have been pitching these things to me, but they've never really been aligned with what I use and what I do. So I don't want my YouTube to be something where I'm just flogging pointless stuff that I don't use, that don't align with what I do. That brings me on to what I'm going to talk about now. HumeHealth emailed me and they asked me to do a video on their scales. Pitch these scales to me. It's called the Body Pod. You have a pulley handle that you stand on and pull. It measures a whole array of things. You have an app that you use, gives you a body scan of how much muscle you've got in your right arm, your left arm, your right leg, your left leg, your trunk, everything. It measures your body water, your body fat, your skeletal muscle, your bone density. It does the lot. You can track your weight over the day, the month, the year. You can set goals. They even have a band that I've not got that I'm interested in trying out, where it also ties in with your sleep, your activities, your calories, what you burn, all that kind of stuff. I've been measuring myself pre-run, post-run, after a run, see how much water I've lost, see if it changes the body composition of it. I've been tracking myself on that with the app, and I'm going to continue to be using that and integrating that in these videos when I do my weigh-ins, because I'm going to start doing, I would say, weekly weigh-ins or something like that. I've not really got a weight target what I want to go for. I want to stay between 75 and 80 kilo. Right now I'm at 80 kilo, maybe a little bit under. I'm probably about 79 kilo. I want to find that balance where I'm fresh for running and I've got the energy and I'm not drained at the weight, but as opposed to just losing weight and being completely depleted then trying to run and get the best out of myself, which I'm not going to do. So this is going to help me track my weight over a set period of time and manage it efficiently. When I went into the Knutsford 10K, I think I was around about 78 kilo. I'd lost a bit of weight, but I'd lost it a little bit too fast to try and get light for the race, and that was a mistake, because I went into that race, not only did I go into that race compromised because I didn't feel well, but I think I went into that race a little bit depleted. So over the past, I'd say 2 weeks, I've put on about 1 or 2 pounds in weight. I've been fueling a little bit more and I'm feeling a little bit more fresher on my sessions. I'm looking forward to see where this takes me. But yeah, check them out. If you're into a set of scales and you're into all the data that goes with the scales, the apps and stuff like that where you can track your weight and manage it all efficiently, HumeHealth, I appreciate it. The time's 3:51 AM. I've got to get this interval session done before work. I start work at 6:30, but I finish at like a weird time, like 3:10 on a Saturday, and I don't fancy getting it done after that. And I've got stuff to do after work, so then I'd just be coming home from work and doing stuff and then thinking about this session. so I'm getting it done in my own time now, where the only person on the road is me. Let's go. First warm up, 3k, just nice and easy. I've been thinking about this session all yesterday and all last night. I had a rest day yesterday. I went out with a bit of an easy run with Katie, paced her to a 3k PB, but other than that, it was very much a rest day. Went to bed early, about 20 past 9, because I knew I'd be up at 3:30, 20 to 4, out running for 10 to 4, get this session started for about 10 past 4 and finished for 5 AM. What a workout. 5 by 2k. That was a pretty decent effort, and I surprised myself. Not that I surprised myself, but I've been stressing about this session. Plays mind games with you. The running game, I had a rest day yesterday. My appetite's just through the roof all the time. So I'm consciously trying to keep a lid on what I eat, because I don't want to overeat. Yesterday on my rest day, usually exercise helps keep a firm grasp on my appetite and my diet, but with it being like a little rest day yesterday, it's harder to do. I managed it well, I was disciplined, I didn't want to overeat and then come into the session this morning just bloated and stuff like that and just feel crap and sluggish. So I woke up this morning, I was nice and light, I was 80 kilo, as light as 80 kilo is for anyone else. And then I just got on with the session. The splits were good. The first 2k reps were like 3:29 pace, and the next 3 2k reps came in at 3:31 pace, which is pretty decent really. I think I averaged about 3:30 pace, you know, ran about roughly 7 minutes for the 2 kilometre reps. Last big workout before Trafford next week, and I can just get my cool down done now and wind down, ready for work. It's like 5 AM, I'm in work at 6:30, so get my cool down done, get a shower, get some butties made, and get in work till gone 3 o'clock. All good. I love this shit. A 90-minute long run to do, which translated into distance, I should cover about 12 or so miles, 19 or so kilometres today. I'm currently 6.5k into my run, so that's 4 miles, so quite a way to go. I'm going to try and pull something a little bit spectacular out the bag today. So a quick update on this run. I've got 6 minutes left. I'm going to try and squeeze in a half marathon. So I think if I do a 4-minute kilometre now in the rest of this kilometre, then another 4-minute kilometre, I'll get it. I should be able to do that. The last kilometre was a 3:52. I'm on this last one now. 3:49. Oh, shit. There we go. That was heavy. That was a good run. That started out pretty easy. The first kilometre was 4:33, I think, something like that. Then it was like 4:27s or something. And then when I got to like 8, 9, 10 kilometres, my pace started picking up just a little bit more naturally, where that same effort level, I was just going a little bit quicker. I'd warmed into the run, and then it got to like 16 kilometers. I looked at my watch, I was like 10 miles in, and I thought, if I do this next 5k, 3 miles in under 20 minutes, I'll probably get a half marathon out of this in under 90 minutes. So I ran the last 5k, like I think the kilometers was 4:07, 4:04, 4:01, then 3:52 and 3:49, and then it was like 100 meters left to run, and then boom, I think half marathon in 1 hour 29 minutes 40 seconds. Not bad, not bad. I wouldn't say it was hard or anything like that. I was definitely working hard up that hill on that last kilometre in like 3:49, 100%. But I was 21 kilometres deep at that point. But that, I enjoyed that. I'm going to enjoy the marathon block when I do get to it. But now it is time to go to work and drive some buses and see what diversion I'm on today.